Okay. I mean, 100% you're right, Dhruv. And that is where a lot of mentors, the right people to surround you with, etc., matters, right? And hence, I was saying that everybody who's an investor is somebody who's passionate about education and is also a great leader in the industry, right?
Yeah.
So to have their opinion, their inputs, conversation with other business leaders outside that spectrum, saying that what is it that the industry demands, what is it that we can do. We talk to a lot of CHROs saying that what is your learning gap in your current team, what can we do about it. Yeah, so it's an ongoing conversation, and we keep thinking of newer programs. So while one part is scaling this particular program for this kind of student cohort and TG, what can we
Hmm.
do for other? Because there's one big TG that also exists in our country, which is saying that, oh, I can't leave my job to do an MBA because मेरे family responsibilities हैं. तो अभी जो current part-time programs हैं, they're not great enough. There's no outcome surety, etc. And we want to solve for that also, saying a person who can't leave their job, what is the alternative for them? A high quality, practical learning based approach, which is hybrid with online plus physical classes, etc. What can we do about that? So that is one cohort that we want to address. The second big cohort of students like you, Dhruv, who come from family business backgrounds and want to go back to family business. There are two choices. One, you join a generic program like you've done, right, from a great institute, or you go to a family business program that is like really diluted in quality because वो क्या उसकी reputation बची है अभी family business programs की in colleges
Yeah.
is something that students know better, and I don't want to talk about it right now. But
Yeah.
we're saying that there's definite requirement to structure a family business MBA very, very differently, right? Because you have the advantage of having your family business to go back to and experiment your learning and put it to real application. Can we design
Definitely.
an MBA where you, I mean, I'm not saying that we're doing this because we're still thinking, debating internally, but 3 months of learning, 1 month of implementation at your family business, come back, share what you've done, what you've not been able to do, learn more, go back. Can we break it up into parts where you learn, do, etc.? Can you use data from your business in reality inside the classroom, etc.? So that's another cohort. So I mean, I'm just giving you examples of certain cohorts that, for example, the third cohort is UPSC aspirants who, after 4 years of
Hmm.
attempt, 5 years of attempt, are suddenly realizing that they have nothing, right?
Yeah.
Uh, is there a certain industry role where they can fit in much better versus all other industry roles? And can we bridge the learning gap in a shorter period of time for them and in lesser investment, saying that, oh, you do a shorter program and get into roles like these because industry will definitely value the kind of learning you've gone through in the last 4 5 years, right? We don't know what's the solution, but that's the thought. So hence I'm saying that we're constantly thinking of what more can we do, because we're saying students who have a certain kind of requirement for their career, industry saying that we need talent of this kind, and if we're able to match these different cohorts and act as a bridge of learning, saying कि ये student को यहाँ जाना है या इस industry को ये student को hire करना है, what is the learning gap? That's how we see Crucible growing. And we're not sticking to one kind of student cohort or one kind of industry requirement. We are saying wherever the gap exists and the alternates are not great enough, we will get into that space.
Me being a student recently completed his MBA, I can vouch for this, that the kind of understanding that you have that you have of the market, it's quite precise. Because I've met every single kind of person that you mentioned, and I'm pretty sure you have more cohorts in your mind. And I have also different types of students who want to do an MBA, but not the generic one, right? So I think Crucible is headed in a very right direction. And to end the podcast, I have this one last question for you. That when you started Crucible, I'm quite interested in knowing that you must have had a understanding, right? So you, as you mentioned, that you had a little bit of ego also, that yes, I want to build a good business, a scaled business.
Yeah, yeah.
With that, you must have also had a lot of understanding of a lot of things, that how education works out, how students think, how employers hire. And today, when you already are running an institute where your students are doing internships right now, what is the difference? Is there something that you used to think that was right previously, but today you understand that that was completely wrong,
It is a
and
360
you're
degree
glad?
turn, Dhruv.
Oh, is it?
360-degree change. Yeah, yeah, I'll tell you how that change has also happened, since this is the
Uh,
last question. So, I mean, obviously, I had a view of education,
uh,
and I have always believed that what I know is great, but I can always know more. And hence, I went to NMIMS and took up guest facultyship there. I taught three different courses to about 450 people, students in totality across first year, second year, including the core MBA as well as the business analytics MBA program. Okay.
yeah.
So I spent 6 months doing that, and still I was not satisfied, and hence I spoke to students like you outside that college and outside that institute, saying what's happening with other institutes, etc.
Hmm.
I spoke to faculty members across different institutes. Yeah, but ultimately, I mean, my view of education was shaped with what I did in my MBA at IIM Ahmedabad, right, which was very rigorous, intensive kind of education, saying you put people through a very rigorous, intensive journey, and they will come out like really transformed and doing really good stuff. And I wanted to apply that same model of education at Crucible, saying that extremely intense, rigorous, etc. And I, in the first couple of weeks itself, I was frustrated, saying that something is off and this is not working, right? And that is where, while I come from the industry and I've tried to understand education, a true educator, as my co-founder and Simran, helps, right? Because unless this great combination of business and education exists internally, we can't claim to bring that balance to education and industry externally, right? And she, being an educator, has really transformed the way we look at education, because the first thing that we started saying because of her inputs was, okay, education for certain students who are like really competitive, and what IMA gets versus our kind of students, because of the backgrounds, the exposure, etc., very different. So same model will not work. Will have to understand them individually. We're not teaching a batch in a way that a lot of other colleges do. We're teaching this individual student. What can we do for her? What can we do for him? Is how we started, right? And the whole concept of personalization, saying that how do we look at each student individually rather than a batch and fulfill their specific learning gaps, is the way we're doing things now. And that is the big transformation from one set model of education to saying that what is right for this particular student, and to what extent can be personalized, and to what extent can we standardize. Is, for example, we talk to our students every month. Between me and Simran, we sit down with them for 20 minutes every month, and we understand what's working, what's not working. And this is a practice that we want to continue doing with them, right? No college at that level has any understanding of what's happening with their students, right? So yeah, I mean, that's the difference that has happened. I'm now saying that I want to become a better educator. I know nothing of education, and I'm becoming a better human being in that process. Yeah, so that's the big transformation, saying that from believing that I will build an education institute, I'm saying I know nothing. Thankfully, I have a co-founder who understands education, and this combination works beautifully for Crucible and for our students.